We all love electric vehicles, whether it is for the smooth driving experience or the acceleration. Its electric motor and the connected technologies add to the joy of using a non-polluting, environment-friendly vehicle. Despite so many things working in their favor, battery range has been the biggest hurdle in the wider adoption of EVs. In a typical Indian setting, the limitation of parking space makes it difficult to set up a wide charging network. But what if I say you don't need to charge your EV battery? Leave that aside. You don't even need to own a battery to ride an EV. Yes, you heard it right. Want to know more about this? Before we proceed, remember to subscribe to Deccan Herald's YouTube channel and click on the bell icon to never miss a new release. You can also follow us on all our social media handles. And now, back to the battery swapping. The standard practice so far has been to buy electric vehicles with fixed batteries. These can be charged using power sockets at a fixed point. But here, the time taken to charge often acts as a deterrent, since it needs the rider to wait till the vehicle is charged, which could go up to a couple of hours or more. This is in contrast to a couple of minutes of wait time at a fuel station. To address this, a concept called battery swapping has been doing rounds lately. Battery swapping is an alternative to charging which involves the rider going to a battery swapping station and replacing a discharged battery with a charged one at the station. It also provides flexibility to detach the battery from the vehicle and charge it separately. This separates charging and battery usage. It also keeps the vehicle running with negligible downtime, which is good for you, the rider. Battery swapping is generally used for smaller vehicles such as two-wheelers and three-wheelers with smaller batteries that are easier to swap.
Today, people do not adopt to EV primarily because of three reasons. One, your upfront cost is pretty high even today. Second, you don't have the infrastructure to charge your vehicle. In India, we hardly find space to park our vehicle. Forget expecting a plug point to where you park. And third, being the issue around range anxiety with electric vehicles, right? Because all of us have been using fuel vehicles, and we know a fuel station is just around the corner. You can just fuel up and then continue your journey, which is not the case on an electric vehicle. And there is a substantial downtime if you have to charge your vehicle if there is such a situation occurring. We believe swapping is a more practical way of solving this challenge, because with swapping you take the battery out of the equation. In battery swapping, he is not buying the battery, he is just buying the vehicle, and he is paying for the battery whenever he is using, like how we would buy a fuel, right? So that's how the model is, which he's been doing all these years.
But what is the economics of it? How do battery providers make money? And do you, as a consumer, stand to benefit from this? Battery swapping presents a unique revenue model where batteries can be used or subscribed for as a service. This means that consumers can buy electric vehicles without the battery with significantly lower upfront cost, since batteries account for nearly 40% of the total vehicle cost. When you sign up to swap, you pay as and when you need a fully charged battery, just as you would refuel when required.
In a swapping kind of a scenario, the user is not waiting, right? Batteries are slowly getting charged, and whenever the user is needing it, they are available immediately, right? It just takes a minute for him to do the swap and carry on. For as a user, he is not wasting time in terms of waiting to charge. He is not paying upfront for the battery. He doesn't have range anxiety because he knows a battery swapping station will be available wherever he is. So since these fundamental challenges of adoption to EV is solved through swapping, we believe this is a much more scalable solution as compared to charging.
The government too is betting heavily on battery swapping technology. In April 2022, the government released a battery swapping policy draft in which it laid out certain standards and guidelines to push for the technology that might be the magic bullet for EV adoption in India. However, some industry players feel that there are certain issues with swapping. This is because it involves repetitive connecting and disconnecting of the battery. This may create loose connections and cause a short circuit. Pankaj Sharma, whose company recently launched India's first cell manufacturing plant, bets on fast charging as a solution.
You don't necessarily have to stick with battery technologies that take 4 to 5 hours to get charged. So if you have a fixed battery that can charge within 10-15 minutes, it literally provides the alternate to what people are thinking about that can achieve through swap. It fundamentally reduces the risk profile, because when you have swappable batteries, you have to swap in, swap out, there are connectors, they get friction, there is wear and tear. you don't get any of that challenges. So from a stable technology platform, you don't even open up your vehicle. So you can design the vehicles far more compactly, design the batteries, it sits perfectly. And because you have to treat the battery with a lot of care and respect. These are high energy stuff.
The government's draft policy seems to have overlooked business side challenges.
While it's very pro-consumer, but it provides fundamental business challenges, because now your battery is getting charged at my swap center, my battery is getting charged at your swap centers, the cost economics of it, one part. Second part of it is anything happens to those batteries during charging or disconnecting them and swapping them, who owns the liability and responsibility of it? So my battery, if it causes fire into your swap station, God forbids, whose liability is it? So on and so forth. So intra-operability also, then what it forces to do is standardization, that we will all use one kind of battery. And the moment you introduce standardization, you kill innovation, because I have no incentive to make better batteries. I have some different connectors, different power electronics. Everybody has to make, let's say, a brick wall or a brick of battery. That kills innovation.
The EV ecosystem currently is a fast evolving landscape. What do you think is the best solution to all these battery related issues? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.